This is Alabama Politics with Steve Flowers, an in-depth interview with Alabama's top political newsmakers. Now, from the studios of Troy University, here is Steve Flowers.
I'm Steve Flowers, and welcome to Alabama Politics. Folks, we're fortunate to have as our guest one of the political stars of Montgomery County in the state of Alabama and the River Region, the popular mayor of the city of Pike Road. I call it the city because it needs to be a city because it's so big now. They still call it the town of Pike Road. Gordon Stone is our guest. Gordon, good to have you again.
Well, thank you for those kind words. It's my honor to be here and to spend a little time with you.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your friendship. I've known you and Helen a long time.
We've been blessed to travel a lot of the same paths over the years.
I've known Ellen longer than you. You know, Ellen's daddy was my friend when he was superintendent of education in Ozark. I represented Dale County along with Steve Klaus. And y'all have two wonderful, beautiful daughters. Tell our viewers, now you and Ellen met at Auburn, didn't you?
We met actually at an Auburn alumni function.
Y'all were both out of school?
We both were out of school, but we both attended Auburn at the same time. But we didn't meet. No, we didn't.
You were from Pineapple.
That's right.
Is that in Wilcox?
Yes, sir.
That's in Wilcox. I get me with it. Right on Monroe County line.
Right, Monroe, Butler, Wilcox kind of converge, and Pineapple's about 5 miles off of both lines.
Did you play high school football and everything?
I played ball over in Greenville at Fort Dale Academy.
Oh, did you? Yeah. You know, Joe Bonner went to Fort Dale.
Joe and I were in school. We were buddies.
You know, I didn't know that. We saw you at his inauguration down there in Mobile.
Right.
And I talked to a girl who had gone to Fort Dale with y'all too. She was not Bill Hamilton's wife, but she was married to, she's a McGowan.
Right.
She was married to McGowan down there, and she said I was at Fort Dale. I didn't know that Joe had gone there.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. President. He's one of our great university presidents now.
He is a great man.
We are very fortunate. You know, I represent the Higher Education Partnership with a great group of teammates, and Joe is bringing great energy and enthusiasm to our group.
He really is. You know, that he is just a principal fellow, one of my favorite people. But now, you know, I was asking Turner about this prior to the show. I always, and if those of us who've been around political life all my life, probably get the Alabama Commission on Higher Education and your group, the Partnership for Higher Education, confused. And I told Turner, not many people remember this, but I was in the legislature a long time, and Kay Ivey was a lobbyist for the Alabama Commission on Higher Education.
That's correct.
I don't think she was executive director, but she was a lobbyist, and that's how I first got to know Kay.
That's right. The Commission on Higher Education is a state entity set up to provide a variety of services. They predominantly regulate programmatic opportunities, so you have to submit to them to have different programs allowed on your campuses, but they do a good bit of data collection, do a lot of different programs. So we work closely with the commission, but the Higher Education Partnership, which I've been fortunate enough to be a part of for the 25 years it's been around. Its 25th birthday is this year too. We represent all 14 public universities. So the Troy University affiliation here is very important to us, but we're very thankful that we have 14 great public universities in this state that actually educate the largest amount of our bachelor's degree earners throughout the state, and really do it at a very affordable rate, and do it in a way that, I'll tell you, people don't realize this, that our universities have a $20 billion annual economic return to this state. Largest single economic engine in Alabama are your public universities, and we're located across the state in all the different geographic locations. And frankly, one of the neatest things about the universities is when the state invests money in a university, we return $12.50 back to the state's economy for every $1 that's invested.
Wow. Now, the bigger universities like Alabama and Auburn, do y'all just have the one Auburn University? Don't have AUM?
No, it depends. It depends on the different structures. So you know, Troy is defined as one global university.
Right.
The Troy Montgomery campus and the Troy Dothan campus, Troy Phoenix City, all function under the Troy University model. Whereas with Auburn and AUM, they both are partners, and then at the University of Alabama system, UAB, UAH, and the campus in
Are
Tuscaloosa are separate members. And a lot of that just has to do with kind of the way the institution structures it. But you know, we represent 180,000 students, over 70,000 employees, and have a great opportunity to tell the story of how our universities enrich the lives of our citizens. And I can tell you, even in our story in Pike Road, in the early days of forming a school system, if it hadn't been for our relationship with Troy and Auburn and Alabama State and them coming together to help us, you know, we would have struggled in those early years to know what to do and how to do it. And there's so many stories throughout all of our lives where the university connection has made it easier for us or boosted us across the finish line. And I've been honored to serve as their executive director and work to tell that story for 25 years.
You were doing that when I was in the legislature.
Yes, sir. I've been fortunate to be a part of some great agendas that the state has had. And
You've met a lot of legislators over the years.
well, you know I have, and now when I go up to the State House, I've got more seniority than a lot of the people walking the halls. But you know, it's been a blessing, and to be able to work for something you believe in, coming from Pineapple and having the opportunity to go to Auburn, and it just, you know, it opened up so many doors for me, and it created such a wider view and perspective of the opportunities that are out there. So I've lived a life where a university experience made a difference, and so being able to share that now and then tell that story, because there's a lot of competition today. What do young people choose to do with their energy? Where do they go? You know, and there are a lot of young folks don't remember the hard times, because we've had it pretty well in the recent times in our economy.
Especially the last few years.
And so, you know, the university degree, not only does it train you and give you great educational awareness and prepare you for careers, but it also teaches you about leadership. It teaches you about organization. It teaches you about socialization. And so we're working really hard right now, aggressively traveling the state, telling stories about the value of universities. Been over 45 civic organizations, just sharing those stories, reminding people that they drive over bridges all the time and they don't worry about them collapsing because some university graduated engineer has designed it and some inspector has checked it, and we have just great processes that allow our state to move forward.
I'm sitting here listening, thinking about, I knowing you and Ed and all y'all for all this time. I remember when y'all's girls were little, and it was funny. It reminded me I flew back from Washington with Caroline Adderholt, Robert Adderholt's wife. She was Caroline, you know, her daddy, Al McDonald.
That's right. I worked for Commissioner McDonald.
Well, I flew back. We went up for a thing for Shelby. He was having a retirement party they were having for him in Washington. I went up there for it, and we happened not planning. We just sat by each other flying back. But I remember it just like yesterday. He got to Congress at such a young age. I can see Caroline and Robert strolling that little baby, Mary Elliott, around, and now she just graduated from Auburn last year, and they brought her by to meet me and visit with me. But I can see that vision. I can see you and Ed and those little girls when they were little.
Well, they're not little anymore.
I've known y'all. Tell our viewers, they've done well academically. Tell our viewers where they are now.
They're very fortunate. Our older daughter works for Troy. She has 2 degrees from Troy University, and she's at the Troy Montgomery campus working in the Career Student Success Center. And our younger daughter has just finished. She went to Auburn undergraduate, and then she went to the University of Arkansas Law School. She has an interest in agricultural law, so she just got her JD, and now she's working on a Master's of Law in Agriculture and Food Policy. So we're very proud of them. But, you know, they have a great mama who's really taught them a lot about how to stay focused and do the things they need to do.
I bet they're pretty, too, because of you and Ed.
Well, thank you.
Hey, Gordon, let's talk about what's going on at Pike Road.
Absolutely.
Let's get everybody caught up. The last census, what was your population, and what do you think it is now?
Well,
estimated?
in 2010, we had a little over 5,000 people. Now we just crossed about 9,600 roughly. So we're very pleased with that number. It may actually be a little bit greater than that now, given that we have continued to grow since the count would have been finished. But, you know, Pike Road, of course, I think everybody today in 2022, October of 2022, is probably realizing that things are going to slow down. But Pike Road, for the last 25 years, has really not had a slowdown. Even in 08 and 09, when things were economically very difficult in our country, we saw people buying land and preparing for what they saw coming with our township. And you know, the credit for Pike Road's 25 years of growth. Really, Steve, goes to the people who live there, to the folks who have volunteered and engaged both as elected leaders of our council and our planning commission, to the partners who've come in and worked from all over the United States really to help us see things through other people's eyes that we may not have known about, and all of those, that kind of that chemistry of all of that coming together. That's why Pike Road's been an amazing story.
Well, I think you've done a good job of planning too. But having said that, I always ask you this. The interesting thing about it is, as we're visiting right now, Pike Road is 25 years old, the anniversary of the town. When y'all were starting Pike Road and you were involved with the beginning of it, did y'all project it would grow like this?
I don't think anybody really was involved. Reed Ingram and Wayne Rayburn, Charlene Rayburn were the initial kind of real strong catalyst. Doyle Fuller, and those folks really wanted to make sure that we didn't get lost, that the growth around us didn't just consume Pike Road and the community become just a part of a bigger product. They wanted to keep its identity. I think once we got into the early planning stages in 2000, 2004, and then 2004 on forward, I think that's when we realized we really could do something special. So we set a plan to work on 4 principal things, and that would be having good strategy, good planning is the profession of planning, having a really strong set of services, making sure that we were prepared to help people maintain a strong quality of life, and then providing public education opportunities. And we've done that really we've worked on that as a focus of what we've done every year. So I think as we began to realize that, pull those 4 things together, we saw the possibilities for Pike Road to really be fruitful and have a unique contribution to this region. And we've been blessed. Our road systems have been very successful in managing the traffic we have, but we have 5 major road projects on the books to continue to expand those. We've been blessed that our sewer systems and our sewer providers have continued to expand, that our water system has been strong, that all of our utilities are good, that our fire department has been able to expand and grow as we have, that our relationship with the sheriff's department has been amazing, and Derek Cunningham and his team are just the best we have in Alabama, and we're so thankful for them. And so all those infrastructure items, they've been able to grow as we've grown. So it's been, we've been pleased to see how that has all contributed to us being where we are.
The school has been a magnet too, has it not?
School's been an amazing draw.
That brings anybody to real estate.
It's been an amazing draw because for so many people around here, they wanted a small town school system that they could invest in and engage in, and we have probably the most telling statistic is 100% membership in our parent-teacher organization.
100%?
100%.
Well,
and when you've got 2,600 students and you've got that, you're a 6A school.
You got 2,600 students,
yes,
6A school.
Yes, sir. That tells you a lot.
Who do y'all play in football now?
Oh my gosh, we've played different teams over the years because we've continued to grow. But we're playing Carver, Stanhope, Elmore, and some of the local schools around here. We played Eufaula. We've been involved. We played a team out of Atlanta even. So, our football, our sports program.
Do you go to all the games?
Absolutely.
Even you don't go out of town,
absolutely.
Do you? Sure enough?
You bet.
What position you play in high school?
I was a quarterback in high school. When I was at Auburn, I played defensive back. But I was fortunate enough to be able to make that transition. And
does Ellen go to the games with you?
Most of the home games, yes. She doesn't always go on the road.
It doesn't take y'all long to get to the stadium, does it?
Well,
is the stadium over at Waters? Where's the stadium?
No, the elementary school is on the east side on Marla Road. The intermediate school is the historical school in Pike
Georgia
Road.
Washington.
No, the intermediate school is actually the historic Pike Road School there at the old town center of town at Meriwether, Wallahatchie, and Pike, and then the high school is on the Georgia Washington campus. But thankfully, the citizens just chose to expand our revenue base, and we're going to build a new high school. And so we'll have an amazing story. Since we opened the first doors of the school in 2015, accepted the first students, we will have built, once the high school's built, we will have built 4 campuses.
Everything's full now.
Yes, sir.
When we first started talking, y'all were starting
Right.
in the younger ages,
right.
and then
K-
the high
Excuse
school
me.
wasn't going to be ready.
We started K-8, and now we have we've added a class every year till we got to 12, K-12, and now we have pre-K, and we have every offering you can imagine, from FFA to robotics teams to, I think, the best high school band around, to with theater, drama. We compete in all the academic programming, from math teams to youth judicial. So you've got it, and all in between available. Our athletic teams have been very successful. We're very pleased with that. But that comes from dedicated young folks, great parents involved, teachers who sacrifice and give and give and give, administrators who've done a good job. Our town's financial contributions are significant. We're very pleased with with the way our citizens have supported the schools. So, the future's bright in the schools. The future's bright in our infrastructure. Our quality of life program continues to grow. We just had painters in from all over the United States who came for our plein air paint out, and that is an amazing experience to see people who flock to your town to be artists. Mm-hmm. We have a new theater company in town that's just expanded. Our business growth. We have 5 different retail sites right now with people either making proposals to do something or already in the process of doing something.
Well, that Publix has been real.
Publix has been a great partner, yes, sir. Publix, and before that, Home Depot, and our relationship with Walmart were great, and our CVS store there's been great.
Oh, yeah.
All of our businesses there have been wonderful.
I bet that
partners.
CVS store does as much business as any CVS in this country.
We're
right there on that corner.
We're very
like
pleased to have the partners we have. Yes,
now,
sir.
one of the most prized pieces of property would be that corner right across from there. What is anything? If people plan to do something there?
Well, there are 4 corners, obviously, and
the one right there.
One that's got the activity current. There's another one that's got a plan that's been adopted, and they're hopefully will be breaking ground next year.
Commercial.
Then there's very similar to what we have at the Publix, except a little more smaller concepts with some office-related amenities too. Mm-hmm. And then across the road from there, I don't know that anything has happened on those western corners yet.
Yeah. Gordon, one thing y'all done too is you have prepared for growth. You've got as much land, you could have put 500,000 people in as much land as y'all got.
I don't know that anybody's, I don't know that we ever set out to say, we want to grow. But most mayors will tell you, you either are going to be growing and advancing or you're going to be dying. And so we want to manage growth and grow in the right way so that we maintain our character and have a plan for that progress to continue to come together. So, you look at Pike Road right now, we have the one leg of the interstate bypass. We're working with some people in Washington to try to help get that on over to 231. But we are literally 16 miles wide and 10 miles deep.
I knew it was like all across.
That's a lot of land.
Across
Yes,
231 too. It ain't just, But now you and Ellen lived out there early, didn't you? Reed Ingham didn't grow up out there, did he?
Well, Reed was there, but when we moved in, so Reed's been a part of that community for a long time. We've certainly enjoyed a long relationship there. But there are citizens who go multiple generations deep in Pike Road.
One of my favorites is your Senator Will Barfoot. By the way, we kenned each other.
How about that?
My mama's people were from China Grove in North Pike County. It's right there on the Montgomery County line, and we were all kin to the Pike Road people. But anyway, I love Barfoot. He's an original. I mean, he was born and raised right there in Pike Road.
That's right. We have a lot of originals, and then
Matt
we have
MacArthur has been there a long time.
Mac has been there. Yes, he's a neighbor, kind of street behind me. But we're just very thankful, Steve. The greatest asset any community can have comes from its people, and when the people of the community get together and work together and participate in all the various activities, whether it be school related, whether a football stadium is full on Friday night, or whether it be where we have right now we're celebrating the fall through our annual Hey Look at Us hay bale program. We have over 50 hay bales at neighborhoods, businesses, schools, organizations that have been decorated and artistically turned into these masterpieces that are a showcase for people to drive out and ride all through Pike Road. 50 of those behind the scenes people working on that, we've estimated over 1,200 Pike Road citizens involved in developing those 50 hay bales. That's a community of people who care, who want to showcase their community, who want to show their pride in their community. It's a great testimony. Our homecoming parade, another testimony. First time we've had a big parade for homecoming.
Where did it go through?
It started there at Town Hall, went through the Public Center, down Pike Road, and over to the high school. But they put the word out and said we'd love to have, the classes, high school and junior high classes are going to have a float. 50 different entrants in about a week. It was amazing. So, that enthusiasm, that energy, that spirit for what we do, whether it's from art to education, whether it's from infrastructure to business growth, it's exciting.
Who'd y'all play for homecoming? Who'd your homecoming? Do you remember who it was?
which opponent it was, but
anyway, it doesn't
we
matter.
had a great night.
Let me ask you this: there's one thing I want to say for that art thing you were discussing. Is it a derivation of the famous thing they used to have for years, 25, 50 years now, the art in the old school building?
No, the Arts and Crafts Festival still happens. It's actually hosted by the community club, and they are doing that this year as they have in the fall.
It's probably right around the corner.
But this is actually a different event. We have a group of artists that live in Pike Road, and they have a network as you would from people have musicians have networks, artists have networks. Well, they've reached out to that network and developed this following of people who come down every fall and paint outdoor scenes. And Ellen and I have a wall full at our house of these beautiful pieces of art that have been painted by some of the most famous artists throughout the Southeast.
So it's been going on for a while.
Yes, sir.
I want to tip my hat and thank y'all. I have a book out, as you know, in 2015 called Goats and Governors, 6 Decades. I had one of the most successful and well-attended and nicest book your library gave for me out there, and that's a good library.
We're very fortunate.
For a city.
Well, you think about a town that's 25 years old, a town that has right at 10,000 people, and you think about what has been developed over those 25 years. It's an amazing success story at all of the fundamentals that we already have. So, we have a full-blown planning department. We have full opportunities with maintenance of all of our facilities. We've got a trail network of about 3 legs that add up to almost 10 miles now, with a 30-mile goals to have. Just open brand new baseball, softball fields. Have a new ag center with an outdoor
That's what I was going to ask you about.
arena.
Talk about the ag center, if you will, because very few towns that are growing like y'all, the suburban cities, towns, have put that kind of emphasis on the agriculture center.
Well, we did that because 2 things. One, in most counties, your cooperative extension relationship, which goes back to the higher ed model of outreach, is underutilized. To be honest, they don't have the potential facilities to fulfill their potential that they could have. So we recognized that in Montgomery County, we could bring more opportunity to that resource that's tied to Auburn, that's tied to Alabama A&M, if we could get them out there where we are and give them some space to operate. So through a process of understanding what they could do and what they would be able to bring to our community, we decided we could benefit from having a building and attaching to it an open air covered arena. So we have everything from livestock events to the potential for yard sales to all kinds of outdoor connected organizational programming. So all your livestock organizations are meeting there. But some of the cool things that you don't even think about that are subset benefit from that are like this past or in the month of October, we're going to have a cottage food law program hosted by the Extension Service. Now what that is if you bake a cake or bake cookies or have a great recipe and you want to market it, there's certain laws in the state that regulate how you can do that. We're going to host a program for entrepreneurial people, enterprising folks in Pike Road who want to turn their hobby or their gift in that area into something that they can market. Little things like that happen because we have a relationship with the Extension Service. So the Ag Center allows us to do that. And we're not afraid to anticipate what could help people. offer that and then really work hard to encourage people to take advantage of it.
Well, one thing that's really happened a lot is your retail development. I was wondering, that was with the Publix and all that you see from the roads you pass by there. Is y'all sales tax less than the city of Montgomery?
A little bit, yes, sir.
About the same,
but it's a little bit less. But one of the things I think that's made Pike Road's retail growth possible has been the loyalty of the citizens. They really want to support our local community. Yeah. But let me say this too, Steve. None of this happens without great local leadership. And I want to give a lot of credit to those who have served on our town council, those who've volunteered for lots and lots of committees.
5 council members.
And people who have walked the streets of Pike Road when we had referendums, who have get out and help us host these events on the weekends. People that are working with their kids, people that are working with senior citizens. Just that is a huge asset. And if we didn't have the kind of support that we've had from council members from the earliest days to what we have today, we couldn't do all this. If we didn't have the great team, the staff, professionals that we have hired are as good as anybody in the state has, and I'm so honored to work with them. And then the people that we've brought in as advisors and professional partners, we have the best that you can find. And that combination has been so powerful for Pike Road.
I ask this every time. We only got about a few minutes left. When anybody gonna make y'all change your name to the city? Because y'all got 10,000 people. Y'all are bigger than Greenville, aren't you? Probably bigger than Greenville. Probably bigger than Eufaula. Eufaula have 10,000 people.
We're very fortunate to have the number we have, and I think that the whole concept of being a town is based off of the fact that we have 7 crossroads communities, historic communities under that 160 square miles. And if we can evolve to have town centers at Mount Meigs and Mary, town centers at historic Pike Road, town center, crossroad town centers at Wall and at Cecil and at Carter Hill and at Trotman and at Matthews and places like that, where people have come into the town and they can have a full service center there instead of trying to create one downtown and all those places disappear, but keep those places alive and vibrant and put into play unique features at all of those that help them to maintain a draw. Then I think we'll have the opportunity to always feel like a town. As long as we feel like a town, people will love to call us a town. Well, we like to say welcome home, and that's what we want to be known as.
Well, you're the fastest growing town in the city and the state, and we thank you for being with us. Our time's up. Folks, our guest tonight's been Gordon Stone, the mayor of town of Pike Road, and soon to be maybe a city one day because it got 10,000 people, the fastest growing city in Alabama. Gordon, thank you for being with us.
It's an honor and pleasure, and I appreciate the people giving me this blessing to be the mayor.
Thank you, viewers, for watching.